All right, Year 11s, we're about to start a new topic, and this one is about trigonometry. So you might have learnt from a previous year that trigonometry broken down into trigono and metry, meaning triangle measurement. So that's what this is going to be all about, this next topic. There's a few things we can measure in a triangle. We can measure their angles, we can measure their side lengths, and we can measure their area. We're going to learn different techniques for measuring each of these things in this topic. Okay, so since we're going to be measuring angles, I think it's good to revise how sine, cos, and tan are derived. And we do this by looking at the unit circle. So the unit circle, for those who don't remember, is a circle that has its center on the origin of the Cartesian plane, and it has a radius of 1. So that's why each of these coordinates are 1 or -1, because that is the radius of this circle. So when we're talking about sine, we're talking about the y-axis. And you'll see how that relates to the y-axis in a second. The x-axis is cos. Actually, I probably shouldn't use x because that'll get confusing. Sine of the angle and cos of the angle. So the x-axis is the cos of what angle we're talking about. And when I say what angle we're talking about specifically, I'm talking about that if I draw a line from the origin to that circle, the angle there. So there are a few exact values that we'll talk about in a later lesson, but just for now, the general rule is that if I put a point on this circle that's been drawn, and I draw a line from the center to that point, then I can measure an angle, always starting from the positive x-axis. So that angle there. That point rather, has a x-coordinate and a y-coordinate. The y-coordinate is, remember I said that the y-axis is sine. The y-coordinate we call the sine of whatever angle is made, and the x-coordinate we say it's the cos of whatever angle we made. And you will notice that sine and cos on the unit circle will always be between -1 and +1, and whether it's negative or positive depends on how big this angle is. So if I draw another line and have this as my angle, then that means that we're in the negative for the cos value, but we're still in the positive for the sine value. I want you to also notice that we can use symmetry to our advantage when we're dealing with the unit circle. So I've got this angle here. I'm going to put a number to it just to make it a little bit more concrete. Let's say that my angle here is 130 degrees. That has a particular y value, or sine theta value, and that value is the exact same that we would have if I had have instead chosen this second point here, which I'm going to do in red. So if I had chosen this second point here in red, I would have come up with the exact same y value as if I did it with this first point. Now, you'll also notice that if I extend this black line out here, that's half a circle, so 180 degrees, and the angle of my red line, that angle there, is that 180 minus the angle of the black line. So you'll find in the first activity of your first lesson of week 3 that I'm going to ask you to try and find the relationship between sine of an angle and sine of 180, take away that angle. I'm not going to go into too much detail. I think that's enough for this video, but this is very similar to what you're going to be asked to do at the beginning of your first lesson of week 3. Thank you.